This is a video to show you how to use the timeline in Kapwing to make animations. The video was recorded live in the Media Center classroom. I'm going to create a new project in Kapwing. Click the Start button. Here we go. So I want a background. I'm going to click Images and do an image search for sand. Cool. So we have lots of stuff here. And I'm going to pick maybe this one. This looks like a good background image. Now if I go back to images, I'm going to search for emojis to act in this movie. These are going to be my actors. I'm going to search for an animal in the emojis. Alrighty, let me get a one. Okay, let me get a one-hump camel. I'm going to go back into emojis and get another animal. Search, and I'm going to grab a two-hump camel. Boom. And the story is going to be where they're just walking across the desert and then they go and find an oasis. So in the first scene right here, I'm going to have the two of them off. They are here, but I'm pushing them off the screen to start off. Maybe this guy's head is right here, and then they just keep moving. So at the very beginning, and this is going to be tricky to keep track of. So I'm going to put the first camel here on the very first part of the timeline. And this dude is right here behind them. Maybe just starting to peek his head out right here. Okay, cool. That's the way that the scene is going to open. And then I'm going to copy and paste the next one right here, just in front. I should probably do all of them at once so it makes it easier for me. So I'm going to copy and paste again. And I'm going to align the head up so it's just touching the old head. I'm going to copy and paste. Let's see if this works. Animation is a frame by frame. Copy and paste. One more. There's going to be a lot of these. Copy and paste. This might be a lot of work, but using copy and paste, it's not so bad. Control and C, Control and V, Control and C, Control and V. And I will probably have each one of these frames, each camel will last about 1 second on the screen, or maybe half a second. So that if I have 10 of them, it will take probably 5 seconds for the camel to cross the desert in this animation. So right now, here's one camel is ready. The links are coming in the chat now. So one camel has crossed the desert. Let me change the timeline for the first camel. If I click timeline and I give it 10 seconds. 10 seconds to cross the desert. The desert is going to last the entire scene, 10 seconds. The first camel is going to last 1 second. The second camel, that's my dude. That's the other dude. So I'm going to push him off for a while if I can. Can I do that? I can. Can I move him down? Probably. I can probably move him all the way down. Whoa, what did I just do? What did I just do? Yeah, I think that'll work. So, okay, I'm going to wait on that because I don't want to mess things up. This next camel, if I can shrink it in a little bit. Yeah, let's go to 10-second timeline. Ending at a 10 second. There we go. So the second camel is going to start right after the first one ends. And I'm just going to keep doing this. The next camel is starting and stopping here. Right about here, about 1 second or so. I'm just going to keep doing this for each camel in my scene. And what you will notice is that the camels walk across the desert using animation, using simple but really cool animation in Kapwing. And maybe what I'll do is add audio to this scene as well. I might have a conversation saying, hey, whatever the camel's name is, do you think we'll ever find water in this desert? I'm looking for names for these camels. If anybody has a name, a good name for the camel, you can put it in the chat. because I do want to narrate this video. Now, if I'm going about 1 second per scene and it's going to take longer than 10 seconds, I can see that because I'm already at about 10 seconds. Now, there are two ways to fix this. Either I can make the scene last longer in the timeline and keep going the way I'm going, or I can make I can make each camel last for less than a second so that I really do get my 10-second limit. Who just moved that time? Oh, that's kind of cool. So it's showing you, it actually looks pretty incredible in my opinion. I'm actually trying to shrink these down to the lowest I can. Let's see what that does. Does that do anything cool? Alright, we're at, maybe that's the lowest it can go. The lowest meaning the shortest amount of time that this camel can stay on the screen is about that much time. So I'm at about how many seconds? My timeline right now is at 11. I can probably finish this in about 12 seconds without doing a whole lot of editing. Kids, this will probably look good. Maybe I'm getting too confident, but I think this is going to look really good. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times about many things. This is just about 12 seconds. Yeah, like right now I'm animating. You see, I press play. You can see that my camel is moving across the desert. Do you see that? That's kind of cool. And now I can have the second dude follow him. So this is like a real animation, to be honest. An image like the background. You can do things like adjust in the background, and you can change things like the saturation as the color, make it really warm looking. That's fine. They have filters. You can add filters to your work. It's a beautiful app to use, very powerful. Now it makes the desert look even warmer. So let me jump back into this timeline and take my second camel and move him all the way down to the bottom. All the way down. I'm going to start copying and pasting more of these dudes to go across the screen as well. Let me put him right back to the beginning. So he's going to stay there for about, let's say 3 seconds. He's a slowpoke. But now I do want to add more of him. So he's a bit of a slowpoke. Control C, Control V. Now I have 2 of them. He's going to start to walk now. Control C, Control V. 3 of them. Control C, Control V, 4. Control C, Control V, 5. Control C, Control V, 6. I want to get maybe 10. Control C, Control V, 7. Control C, Control V, 8. Control C, Control V, 9. Control C, Control V, 10. Control C, Control V, 11. It looks like it's going to take about 13 frames to get this dude off on the other side. Perfect. Jump back to the timeline. Whoops. And we will fix all this and the second camel. So now you can see all the Control V, Control C, Control V's are right here. They're all down here in the timeline in the bottom. The first dude is going to stay on the screen for 1 second. Each frame, each camel frame that I have from the second camel is about 1 second. If you plan this better than me, if you do 12 seconds in the timeline and 12 frames of the camel, well then you will be able to know that everything works perfect. In 12 seconds, the 12 frames will last. It will take the entire time of your timeline for the camel to move from one side to the other. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now with the second camel. I learned from the first one how to do this a little bit better. And that's what I'm doing. You can even make one go faster than the other. by adjusting the timeline. If one gets to the other side before the other in the timeline, that means that that animal is moving faster when you look at it. Alrighty. This looks pretty good. I'm going to press the play button and see if it works. Here we go. I could probably just export this as is. Now I can see in this frame at exactly 10 seconds, 0.28, that I have two camels on here. There's an overlap. I could change that. I probably will change that. I just want to see why is my animation 12 seconds. Or sorry, 20 seconds. I'm going to change it to 12 seconds. Done. Alrighty. Yeah, okay, let's just press play and see what happens. So here the camels are going for a walk, walking across the desert. First scene is ready. Gerald is going to be the name of one of these dudes, and the other one I'm still looking for another name in the chat. So that's my first scene is pretty much complete. The two camels walk across the desert, and I'm going to record audio for them to have a chat. I'll probably do the audio at the end. I'm going to make another scene. Plus sign. Oh, actually I could duplicate this. No, I'm just going to make another scene. Okay, so for this scene, I'm going to need a background. I'm searching for an oasis. O-A-S-I-S. Not the band. I'm going to search desert, and I can actually make an oasis and add it on there. Here we go. So if I take this, it looks like the Grand Canyon almost. This desert. Drop it right here. If I go back to images, emoji, and search for oasis. Nope. W-A-T-E-R, water. Yeah, I can't really find anything cool yet. I need to think of a better way of searching for it. Going back to the image search, and I need to find something really cool. Let's say a hotel. Two camels can find a hotel in the desert. Boom. Perfect. And they're going to go and get some rest. At the hotel. Hotel is over here. And let me get my two characters back. Now I could go and find them again, but I'm just going to go back to this other scene, and I'm going to copy and paste these two dudes. Click on two of them, holding Control C. I think I copied both. Jump back to this scene, Control V. Did that work? Did it work? No, it did not work when I Control V'd. Let me try again. Go back, I'll take one of these camels, Control C, back to the scene, Control V. Boom, I got one of them. Let me go get the other dude. Click on the camel, Control, whoa, not Control V. Click on the camel, Control C to copy. Go back to the scene, Control V to paste. Here my two dudes are back. Here is Gerald and whoever. I'm still waiting for a second name for these camels, if anyone has one. So now they're just going to walk up and go into the hotel. That's it. That's how I'm going to end this animation. So let me get the first dude again. I'm actually going to delete the other camel for a while to make it easier. Control C, Control V. Okay, he's walking along. Control C, Control V. That's 3. Control C, Control V is 4. I'm going to try and do it in 12. Control C, Control V is 5. Control C, Control V is 6. Control C, Control V is 7. I'm going to start making him smaller now because he's getting further away. Control C, Control V is 8. If I make the camel smaller, it will look like he's moving away from me. Control C, Control V is 9. And we'll make it look like he's moving towards the hotel. Control C, Control V is, I think, 11. Control C, Control V is 12. He's going right up to the door. Nice and small. Control C, Control V is 13. And I'll leave him right, whoa. I will leave him right there at the door. Perfect. So let's jump to the timeline and fix this up so that all these frames, all these camels don't show up at the exact same time. Here we go. Here is the timeline. Here is my main scene, my background, the desert. The hotel is going to stay on for 12 seconds, or how actually I got to set the time. This scene is going to last, let's say 9 seconds. Let me do about 9 seconds on this. So this scene will last about 9 seconds. I think that's enough time to make this happen and make it look good. Alrighty, so the hotel needs to last 9 seconds. I'm pinching to zoom out on the timeline. You can see that everything on my timeline is short except the hotel. The hotel does last 9 seconds. The desert needs to last the same. Good. Now the first camel will last there. The second camel can come here, here. Like if you get into a run of doing this, if you get better at this, you can probably just drag and move a lot quicker. I'm new to this. This is my first time doing this, to be honest. So it's probably taking me longer than it normally would. But it's still not even taking that long. And I'm going to tighten up these things. I'm going to make them shorter so that the camel moves quicker. Yeah, I'm going to have them kind of running over a little bit. Oh yeah, now we're less than 1 second in and the camel has already moved across the screen. Yes, Steve is a good name. Steve and Gerald, I love it. Thanks for writing the names in the chat. So we're at 2 seconds in the timeline, and look at the camel has already gone all the way to here. So either I can slow him down as he gets closer to the hotel, or just keep it going. He's going to get there quicker. If he gets there quicker, I can make the scene last less than, well, it is only 6 seconds, so we're pretty much there anyway. I like 6 seconds for a scene is pretty fast, but that's okay. Because I don't want it to be too drawn out and too boring either. Okay, that's it. Done. Let's test it out. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the movie. I could just go right to the second scene and play it. Let me go to the beginning and press play and see what happens. So for the first scene, it lasts 12 seconds. The camels, Steve and Gerald, are walking on the desert. Doo-doo-doo, it's a hot day. Let's go get some water. Where? Oh, look, there's a hotel over here. Let me go into the hotel. It's working. Cool. I love it. And then he jumped inside to the hotel. Excellent. Let me go back to this first scene. The very first scene. I need Steve. Let me copy Steve. Jump back to the second scene and Control V is paste. Beautiful. Here's Steve ready to go. Control C, Control V. It's 2 Steves. Control C, Control V. 3 Steves. Control C, Control V. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Oh, 10. So this is a lot. This is a little bit more. The more of these that you do, the better your animation will look. Most real animation on TV is shot at 30 frames per second. Now I'm shrinking down the size a little bit late. I probably should have done it as I went just to make it a better transition. But it will still work. Alright, let me adjust the timeline and I should be done. So I'm jumping back to the timeline. I'm going down to the second camel. Here is Steve. For the very first thing, Steve is going to stay like this. That's fine, Steve. You can be right there. The second frame of Steve is going to be next to it. Third frame. Fourth frame. I think I need to shrink Steve's frames down because Steve is moving a bit slow. So I'm going to make his frames shorter. This is almost ready. I'm almost done, kids. Which is good because we're getting close to time. Steve is looking good now, kids. Moving him over here. Shrinking down the timeline. I just need to go to 6 seconds. I'm already at 3 seconds. And I've got a few frames left. Right here is good. Right here is good. We are up to, and here is good. So the last, he slows down as he gets closer, and then he's inside in the hotel. My animation is done. Done, done, done. In the background here, if you click the background, right? If I click here, and then I look on this side on the right, it has the output size. This is a cube. It is 1 by 1. The ratio is 1 to 1. For every inch you go on the width, it goes 1 on the height. So this is 1 to 1. If I change it, if I click on 16 by 9, look at what happens when I click 16 by 9. Wow. Let me see if that changed my animation. I have no idea what will happen. I'm clicking play. It messed up my animation a little bit, but I could edit it and I could change it to fit this. 16 by 9 is probably a better way to do it. It would look better. I think it would look super cool if I did it in 16 by 9. Cool. But I'm going back to 1 by 1 because that's where I started and that's where I did all of the work. And I like it. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to add my audio and I'm going to export the video. Let's see what happens. So if I go to the first scene, if I go to timeline, it looks good. Okay, so I want to add audio. Let's go back to the studio. Let's go to audio. I think I have to press, or do I press record? Record audio only. What will that do? Let me see. Nah, I don't want to do that. I guess I'm going to go to audio, and I guess I'm going to record. Click record. It's ready to record. I'm going to press play. Here we go. I'm going to record the movie. Steve and George. Oh no, Steve and Gerald. Here we go. Get ready for my voice acting. Here we go. I got to press record and play about the same time. It's very hot out here, Steve. Isn't it very hot? Yes, Gerald. It is very hot. Where are we going? I think we should find some place to rest. Okay, then. Look, there's a hotel. I'm going to race you to the hotel. Okay, let's go. I press stop. I'm going to press done. I think it's good. And now I can press play and then I'm going to export. Let's see if it worked. It's very hot out here, Steve. Isn't it very hot? Yes, Gerald. It is very hot. Where are we going? I think we should find some place to rest. Okay, then. Look, there's a hotel. I'm going to race you to the hotel. Okay, let's go. Now we're ready. Let's export the movie or export the video. Click the red export video button and it might take it a few minutes to put this video together. If everything worked, we should have the different scenes changing and my voice telling you the story. Here we go. Let's press download to download the video. It's right down here. It's on my computer. Now, I love using Kapwing to make video projects. Do you think you can do this? I can't wait to see what you publish.